Hi, this is Matt on an island, and the topic of this video is food and common sense. If you get your information about food from mainstream media, it can be extremely confusing because the information you get is very contradictory. So one week coconut oil is healthy, the following week it's dangerous. Is there any simple way you could use to help you make food choices? Well, you could always rely on common sense. What would be just a common sense approach to choosing your own food? The first thing that pops to mind is going for a little bit of everything. You're going for a balanced diet with a little bit of everything. Now, what does it mean actually, a little bit of everything? Does it mean a bit of vegetables, a little bit of meat, or more meat, less veggies, or more carbohydrates, less refined carbohydrates, more fish, less fish? What does it mean exactly? It's not very, it's a bit vague. So it might not be very helpful. So how about just looking at another approach, just looking at evolution and the assumption that the DNA has accumulated a lot of experience over the course of at least 300,000 years, which is at least the length that Homo sapiens has been around. And you can fairly safely assume that the environment had specific characteristics that made this environment very different from the environment we live in right now. So what are those differences? Well, it's essentially, number one, the food scarcity. Food used to be scarce. So nowadays we get food in abundance without any difficulty. It used to be very scarce. Number two, there was absolutely no refined carbohydrates. Okay, they didn't exist. Grande lattes, rice, pasta, breakfast cereals, that didn't exist. Okay, there was no pizza, there was no noodles, there was no ramen, and no bread. The third thing as well is that plants were the easiest thing to catch. Okay, plants, they don't run away when you try and catch them, they're there. So you can also safely assume that plants were eaten in large quantities. Then what about meat? If it was accessible in relatively small quantity because it's harder to catch, and it was definitely organic by today's standards. It was very organic, no doubt about that. So there you go. If you just look at this, but that gives you a few hints about how to choose your food.